you a question. How many times this week did someone else's email, their comment, or tone decide your mood for the rest of the day? A side eye in a meeting, an all caps email, or being left off of an email thread. Those tiny moments can hijack your whole nervous system if you're not careful. Today, we're talking about how to stop handing people that kind of power. How to notice your triggers, how to slow down the moment and respond like the healed version of you, not the hurt version of you. Because here's the truth, nobody can make you lose control unless you give them the keys. So this episode is about taking back those keys, one breath, one choice, one boundary at a time. Welcome back to the FM Talent Blueprint, where we talk about how to shift, grow, and thrive both in work and in life. I am your host, Dawn Hendricks, and today we're diving into something every human struggles with. How to stop giving your power away and start managing your emotions with both intention and with authority. So the question that I want to ask is, why did we actually lose control? Most people think they break down because of these big moments or major crises. But the truth is, most people lose control because of the small moments, the ones that poke at old wounds or insecurities or just plain exhaustion. Let's think about it. You've just been cut off mid-sentence in a meeting and you suddenly feel invisible. Or you find out that you weren't included in an email and your mind starts to spiral. They left me out on purpose. Or somebody presents your idea, the idea that was yours, and they didn't give you the credit. And so now you're ready to flip over the conference room table. These are tiny moments, but they're emotional landmines. And without awareness, they make us react in ways that don't reflect who we truly are. So if we talk about what's really happening here and why we're reacting, you feel disrespected. You feel overlooked or attacked. Your amygdala, that alarm system in your brain, starts to light up and it's saying, danger, danger, you got to protect yourself. But here's the catch. When that alarm goes off, that part of your brain that controls the wise decisions or, that emotional regulation, which is the prefrontal cortex, that part of your brain starts to dim. And so what actually comes out is a sassiness, defensiveness, over-explaining and shutting down, or just saying or typing the things that you'll regret 5 minutes later. You are not, when that happens, you are not responding from a place of wisdom. You're actually reacting from a wound or a place of woundedness. And so the reframe that you're going to need that will change everything is the recognition that a trigger isn't the problem. A trigger is actually your teacher. Your reaction is the part that you can control. And yes, you can control it if you slow the moment down. So there's the stop method. And it's really one of the most powerful tools that you can practice. And so I want to just share this with you. So the S is for stop. And so I'm going to ask you, don't speak, don't type, just pause. The T is for take a breath. You want to slow your body down first. And once you do that, your mind will follow. The O is for observe. So you're going to ask yourself, what am I feeling? What narrative or what story am I telling myself? And then finally, the P is proceed. So after you've done all of that, you're going to choose the response aligned with how you really want to show up and not aligned with that trigger. And so let's go back to some of those real life scenarios that we were talking about earlier, like being interrupted. And this time we're going to respond in our power, not in our trigger. So our old reaction would have been, we're going to shut down or we're going to snap. The new reaction is maybe saying, if someone interrupts us, let me finish my thought and then I'll pass it over to you. I love this response because it's steady, it's clear, and the response isn't spicy, it's not sassy. Let's try another scenario. They didn't include you on the email. So your old reaction would have been kind of spiraling out of control and coming up with all of these reasons and rationales why that occurred. This time, the new reaction or response is, oh, I saw the update. Anything you need from me moving forward? And so in this regard, you're staying collaborative. You're continuing to partner and you're not getting caught up in your own paranoia. These are examples of what I call emotional mastery. You remain steady, clear-minded, and you maintain a consistent character that you could be proud of. The real work for you is healing the trigger, because triggers aren't created in the moment, they're revealed in the moment. So you've got to ask yourself, what situations consistently get a reaction out of me? What's the story that I'm telling myself when these things happen? And where did that story begin? Was it an old job or something that happened in your childhood? You know, you can also ask yourself, is this true? Or is it just kind of some familiar thing that has occurred, or a repeated pattern? What would the healed version of me believe here? I love that question because this is how you can actually break cycles. This is how you stop overreacting and how you stop giving people access to the parts of you that they haven't earned. I believe that healing is the ultimate flex. It turns being reactive into wisdom, and using that wisdom and turning that into influence. Here's the bottom line. You absolutely cannot control people. You can't control their tone. You can't control their moods, their insecurities. There is nothing about another person that you can control, but you can absolutely control you. Your character, your peace, your influence. And so the moment you stop letting people's behaviors dictate your response is the moment that you become unshakable. I'm Dawn Hendricks, and this is the FM Talent Blueprint. Until next time, I want you to show up steady, stay in your